Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Content Supply Live, where we break down what's trending in marketing. And today we have two really exciting reels and topics to talk about today. So the first one is about the Spanish ship that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge just this last weekend. There's a lot of buzz around it circling online, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll also talk about the new Sinners movie and all the buzz that's circling around that in marketing and the internet in general. So let's first talk about the Spanish ship. Brendan, do you want to pull up this video? Awesome.
Yep. All right. I will let it ride right here.
Okay. Hold on to your tequila shots because you're not going to believe what just happened. A Mexican naval training ship with the flag so big you could spot it from space came sailing through the East River and took a full swing at the Brooklyn Bridge. And this wasn't some little boat. It was a 3-mast beast carrying over 200 people on board. Now, here's the crazy part. The ship was actually moving backwards when the 147-foot mast slammed into the scaffolding and snapped it like a toothpick. And about 50 people were up on those masts. You can even see them hanging off when it broke. Some of them went flying into the East River. Emergency crews who swarmed the scene, only 2 people are in critical condition, and the ship is now too damaged to continue the training cruise. Apparently, this whole thing was part of a promotional tour for America's upcoming 250th anniversary. But this is a PR nightmare. Who was the captain of this ship and who let it roll in reverse into one of the most iconic landmarks on Earth? Follow for more because something tells me we're going to get some serious updates tomorrow morning.
That's crazy. I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't know all the details. That's insane.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, this is a wild topic. I had no idea because I've seen the video circulate online probably like 3 or 4 times just this weekend. But I had no idea that it was a part of like a promotional campaign for like the 250th anniversary. I don't know if I believe that fully. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But I don't know. I don't know. This is all new news to me, so.
Yeah, it certainly is a PR nightmare to say the least, but I think it's really interesting because this is a good case study into like when you go into crisis mode in PR and how you can kind of control this. And I think if I was in charge of the PR, I would definitely want to get ahead of all of the content because like you said, Justine, this video is circulating like everywhere on the internet because it's such a shocking thing and a scary thing to witness. And of course in New York, like there's so many like POVs of this happening. But I think what it would be important to do for, I don't know, what I would do if I was in charge of the PR, I would have maybe tried to like humanize this a little bit more. So introduce like a boat captain, get an interview of him explaining what happened and just be really fast with the response and stay very factual with this is what happened. We're reviewing these protocols and just try and fight that negative content battle with just like factual, but also humanized content. So that way this narrative doesn't spin out further and further and further. And then maybe in the future, this is just popping in my head. I think it just depends on like these situations when if there's millions of or like people that are hurt and in critical condition, you never want to make light of the situation. But I don't know. In my mind, I was like, oh, you should just made a meme that's like, oh, sorry, we'll park better next time. Like, my bad, whoops.
Yeah, it's tough to do that too because I just was reading 2 people did pass away from it. So
okay, never mind, guys.
That makes it a little different. That makes it a little different. Yeah, no, it's all good. Information changes. When information changes, it's good to be out on the front of it.
Yeah.
And also, it's like I don't know. It is odd and it's sad now that it has like the tragedy piece. Before I knew people died, it seemed just more like a joke type thing, and I think that's not what people are realizing. But this is a different type of thing versus like the submarine, like a couple years back. Like it's a totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like there is an accident that happened, but like this was a training thing. This like it's partially tragedy, partially like an OSHA. A flub, a mess up, and then a few people died because of it. So luckily things like this don't happen a lot, or at least I hope they don't. But it is one of those that is interesting to see. I will say that it didn't look like a naval ship to me. Just as a bystander, that looks like a tourist type thing, just because the masts just seem like kind of a waste. Most, at least maybe that's just because of our culture in the US, that most of our naval ships don't have masts on them unless they're like a relic or for entertainment, like tourism purposes. So that was kind of interesting just to see something that I thought was obsolete. Not, I don't know. Anyway, just that's kind of my first thoughts was like, why is there a mast on a modern shipping, like modern vessel? Like, what is this? We got rotors, we got motors, like what are we doing here? So I don't know, that was just my thought on the ordeal as well. But it's crazy there's people on it. That's what makes, can you imagine being that high up? Like that is not a very like low to the water bridge. Like have you seen the Brooklyn Bridge in person, right, Kate? Or both of you have? Maybe well, okay, so both of you, yeah, I'm not that well traveled then, I guess. I've seen like the London Bridge, and that freaking thing's tall. So I don't know if it's that tall, but it's like, I don't know how high off the water do you think that is, roughly? We're talking like
I don't
feet,
know.
50 feet, 60 feet, 70 feet. Like how far are these people falling into a river? Is all I'm thinking. If they're falling off the thing.
Let's look it up.
Bridge height.
276.5 feet. So I mean that's a pretty big drop.
That's actually terrifying. That's really high.
Yeah. And the scariest part, and I mean, I guess this is good because not good, because there were people that did pass away. But I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people that travel this bridge every single day to like get to work and from work. They commute on this bridge, and not one person, at least from my knowledge, that was actually on the bridge was injured. It was only the people that were on the cruise ship, or not the cruise ship, but like on the ship that were injured. So I guess that's good in a way. Not good, but you know, it is
worse, right?
Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So
the masts are 157 feet on that boat tall, and that's why it hit it. So man, that's just crazy. Like someone should have done some math before they're going near a bridge like that, in my mind too. Like I don't think they need clearance signs, but maybe they do now.
I was gonna say maybe they need to add like a little parking garage clearance sign.
Yeah, a little bar.
Next time, Brooklyn Bridge.
Yep. Anyway, cool. Well, I'll move to this next one. I'll paste this. We don't have too much time to talk on it, but I'll dive into this if you want to give an intro on this one.
Yes. Yes, so now we are going to be talking about a little bit about the Sinners movie. This is a movie that has struck a lot of buzz online. And this is, let's see, Comic Lawn.
This is a producer Patrick, actually. Producer
Patrick. Okay. And he kind of talks a little bit about the Sinners movie and all the industry buzz. So let's get into it.
Okay, let me hit enter on this.
One movie has studio execs freaking out. Hi, it's producer Patrick bringing you the latest in the ever-evolving film and television industry. What do you do when the industry's collapsing and your biggest stars are walking? Well, if you're a studio, you make a deal you would have never made 5 years ago. And that's what Warner Brothers just did with Ryan Coogler. His new film Sinners isn't just a hit, it's a turning point. Coogler struck a once-in-a-generation deal with the studio. Total creative control, no studio notes, a massive cut from the profits, ownership of the film, and the rights for his company to build out the spin-offs. And why would Warner Brothers say yes to all of that? Because they need him. The traditional system is breaking. Box office returns are shaky, streaming's still losing money, and many of the traditional studios are bleeding talent to tech platforms. So when a director like Coogler shows up with an original idea and a proven track record, well, studios don't negotiate from strength, they negotiate from fear. And now that fear is spreading. Because if Sinners becomes a hit, every top filmmaker will want a deal just like his. One executive told New York Magazine this could end the studio system. Because of the power, the profits, and the IP shifts back to the creators, what's left for the studios to own? And this could turn out to be the new future of Hollywood.
Anyway, kind of cool. I like his stuff a lot. I'm a big fan of producer Patrick. I watch his crap a lot. But I guess I'll dive in to talk first on it. It's kind of cool to consider that this same type of concept in the creator economy is now affecting the Hollywood institution, not just the institutions of business and like influencers have kind of been pummeling on that side, but now it's starting to affect like what we watch on a day to day, that people really are starting to, I guess people who run these studios are starting to funnel more creators in. There's more and more studios that are big influencers are the ones that run these studios now. And they're making content for Instagram in Hollywood studios now. So there's like this big shift that's happening right now because that's where the eyeballs are. And it's kind of killing there's a part of me that's sad that the TV industry and the reality TV and these, game shows and stuff like that we used to grow up on are kind of dead in a lot of ways, and they are dying. But now it's shifting over to this creator focused content, and it's democratizing the potential for those eyeballs to make money rather than just having a couple wealthy white dudes in LA make money. Now it's democratized to whoever's got a good idea. It's meritocracy. If you have good ideas and you can get the attention, you make the money. So what do you guys think about that? I think it's super interesting, and it's kind of an exciting step for Hollywood, but scary if you're a film executive.
I'm so excited about this. Like you said, Brendan, I just hope this moves people more in towards, or that we can get more creative, original movies. I, for one, do not give an F about what Marvel movie comes out next with the same storyline and the same cheesy writing. But there are so many talented movie makers and directors in this world that really don't get their shot because they're constantly beat out like with big companies. And so I'm so excited about this. I wonder if this really will become the new norm. I thought it was interesting how this producer guy was explaining how, because this was such a great deal, all the other directors are going to want something like this, even though it was pretty one in a million. So I don't feel too bad. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a great idea. And it definitely worked out in Sinner's favor because it got a 90%, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane. I have not seen a movie rated that high for so long. I don't know, this is just a super high rated movie, and with them putting more, I don't know, with them having less, like the high executives or whatever in Hollywood, having like less input on what big movies come out or whatever. I feel like there's just going to be a lot more creative movies in general. The last couple movies that I've seen in theaters haven't been that good, in my opinion. But maybe this will change. There's a lot of creative people on Instagram. There's a lot of like in the influencer scheme in general. So I feel like this will really help bring more creative movies to Hollywood. I'm sure that a lot of people in Hollywood currently are upset about it. Because they're taking all the money and everything. But I do think it's going to be good in the future.
It's tough when Hollywood charges so much in taxes and being able to like get a production to happen anyway. Now because of all the Writers Guild and all of that stuff, like it was great they struck those deals, but almost from that moment, almost all production went offshore. It went to other countries. And that sucks because like that you want these, if you're going to make productions like American made movies, like there is a difference there. And so being able to like strike a good balance, which is what these creators can do, is to have that like homegrown talent, homegrown creative that can be interesting, but also just making good movies. I think the rise of the indie filmmaker more than ever is coming around the pike. And I'm super excited to see what people who have the ability to hop in, write a good script, get it started, and maybe get it funded by like a creator rather than trying to just pitch Warner Brothers. Now you can pitch, I have 50 different influencers. I could potentially get a couple million for my project rather than get in line for the 30,000 people in front of you that also are pitching to one production company. Now you've democratized the potential, increased the number of investors and good projects. So it's exciting to see how that'll work. But that's kind of my take. And yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts on these topics are in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear more from us, and then rate and review on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.